Hello, good afternoon, Internet. Okay, so today I came across a story that I just could not resist making a short video about. Donna Brazile, who we all know and love as the interim Democratic National Committee chair for the past several months, who just finally stepped down after this past weekend's DNC chair election that Tom Perez won. Donna Brazile went on the Politico podcast, it's called Off Message, and spoke about her experience chairing the DNC over these past couple months, namely during the election period and the supposed hacking of the Democratic National Committee email systems. And at one point, and this will be linked in the description box, so go listen to yourself or look at the transcript. But at one point, Brazile is asked something that she's been asked repeatedly since this story broke. She was asked whether she bore any responsibility or was blameworthy at all for the revelation that she gave questions improperly. Gave debate questions improperly to the Hillary Clinton campaign, which she was obviously partial to during the Democratic primary process. Brazile's contract with CNN was subsequently terminated after that revelation. Colleagues of hers, such as Jake Tapper, denounced the revelation that she did give questions ahead of time to her favorite candidate, Hillary Clinton. And, I think basically anybody who has a modicum of ethical fortitude would recognize that to be improper. So after all this time and all the hand-wringing, Donna Brazile was asked, something along the lines of whether she did anything wrong in doing this. And incredibly, she still skirts around the issue of whether she did anything wrong. And probably most damningly, she still refers to the emails, which reveal her as passing along these questions, as only being allegedly authentic. Remember, there's been no even allegation by anybody else, allegation with any legitimacy, that these emails were doctored or forged or anything else. But Brazile, in her Politico podcast, refers to the email showing the debate revelation as, quote, allegedly sent from me. So it's only alleged in her estimation. It's not confirmed at this point. And basically she accused she suggested that she was, quote, the victim of, quote, a smear campaign by WikiLeaks. And then, she goes on this whole spiel about how when she was first notified as to the alleged Russian hacking of the DNC, she was scared. She had to have increased security put in the DNC headquarters. She said, at one point she said, I'm no longer a partisan, I'm a patriot. So she thought she was doing her patriotic duty by trying to call attention to this sinister Russian subversion of the United States electoral process. And then on Saturday, her final speech at the DNC was devoted in part to a call for more aggressive investigations of Trump's supposed connections to Russia. And I bring this up not to relitigate that question of whether Donna Brazile improperly handed questions to Hillary Clinton and so on and so forth. That's sort of water under the bridge, although Jordan Sheridan of TYT Politics is one of the asked Donna Brazile about that event in a very popular YouTube video from several months ago. So for your edification, I've included that also in the description box. So go back and refresh your memory if you desire. But I bring this up mainly because I think Donna Brazile's stubbornness and her inability to reckon with reality, I think, is reflective of a larger sentiment that is on display now in the Democratic Party, in which has led to failure in the past, and probably if nothing changes, and by all accounts, not much is going to change, at least if we're going by the results of the DNC chair race this past weekend. This will just lead to more failure in the future. The Russia obsession, I think, just persists. And I sort of wish I could talk about other things at this point. I'm getting a little bored of it. I'd prefer to move on. But everywhere you turn, this is the number one issue that people are talking about, whether it's at town hall meetings, whether it's on television with Democratic partisans making incendiary statements about Russia. Somebody just sent me a quote from a town hall yesterday that was held by Senator Ben Cardin, a Democrat of Maryland. And he got up and said that Russia attacked us. Let me get the exact quote here. I have it. Just a moment here. I had it up and lost it briefly, but that's okay. I'll include the full quote in the description box. But basically what Cardin said was, Russia attacked us in November. Really? Russia attacked us? I mean, did they bomb a warship? Did they launch an airstrike against an American target? Did they do something that would be reasonably construed as an attack? Even if they did attack the Democratic National Committee, do we really want to present that as an attack by a nuclear armed power with all the adverse consequences that entails, and the escalation of hostilities that would bring forth? I don't think so. And then you have Tom Perez, who, as I'm sure most of you know, was elected, and I mentioned this before, was elected on Saturday to be the new chair of the DNC over Keith Ellison. Perez went on Jake Tapper's Sunday program on CNN, State of the Union, and said, quote, "What we need to be looking at is whether this election was rigged by Donald Trump and his buddy Vladimir Putin." So Perez brought that up on his own accord. Tapper wasn't even asking him about Russia. It's just such an instinctive talking point at this point that people can't resist. So that's why I keep talking about these things. There seems to be a collective derangement that's going on that's really, I think, going to inhibit any full-scale reckoning with what Democrats should do going forward with their failures in the past, and it's a troubling sign. So that's about it for now. And then, I summarized some of the sentiment in a Medium post that went up earlier today, so I've linked to that as well in the description box. So that's about it for now. Quick video. Hope you don't mind. Have a wonderful evening.